Ken Allen became a folk hero. After that, the first escaped zoo officials ramped up the security in his pen. An open area with a jungle gym made of utility poles and a large moat at the back behind. Californians don't do anything halfway.
No, they don't. No.
Behind the moat was a massive wall with they extended 4 feet. But it wasn't enough to contain Ken Allen.
So they decided to put 4 guard towers with semi-automatic machine guns, barbed wire surrounding the cage. And if that didn't work, a Ken Burns documentary to bore the animal from getting out of the enclosure. Can you imagine if that were true?
His 19-hour documentary.
And if all else fails, a full reenactment of the reading of the Magna Carta.
Yeah.
King John's just like, you don't want me to do what? Just read it. I'm recording. All right, ready when you are.
Did that blow out your eardrums?
It did. I was like, dun. I'm like,
can that be the beginning, please?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Welcome, Banter Griffiths.
We went through 50 episodes. Now we don't care.
Oh my gosh. What up, Banter Biscuits?
Hey, everybody.
If your eardrums aren't blown out by now, what you could absolutely destroy is the like and subscribe button wherever you're listening to and giving us a 5-star review. So we don't have to start attacking you to get the likes and subscribes we need. So just click that button whenever you're ready.
I don't know why I had to hit it so hard.
I mean, neither, man. It was so aggressive.
I broke my microphone.
You guys.
Okay.
You biscuits don't understand what
the look
happens.
in your eyes was just like you were about to, like you were facing the death penalty or something.
Oh my gosh, I don't know why
I can't believe I have to do an hour of this with you.
Exactly. Like you guys don't understand what we do before, but every time before, Garrett and I just kind of have a conversation because we're holding in all the energy. And then we say, all right, here we go. And I'm recording and I tested my microphone and I was just I don't know what happened. I was like,
I realized I've never tested mine. So I tried it.
Uh-huh. Wow.
So why do you have New Jersey on your chest?
Okay.
I was like, okay, either Seth had a school project or his chest has now become a really tough neighborhood. I can't decide which one.
Either that or he's starting to get a bunch of attitude with me and he's going to start gelling his hair real thick.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have this cutout. All right, so I have a cutout piece of paper. If you're not watching on YouTube and you're listening wherever, and you've already clicked the like and subscribe button, which is great, and we appreciate that. I have New Jersey on my chest.
I'm really glad it was New Jersey and not something else. Because I was like, why do I know that it's New Jersey? Oh, that's because I know the states.
Why do you have the Austrian-Hungarian Empire on your chest?
And then slowly behind you, this swastika flag just like starts going up. And you just knock it over.
Yeah. So this month at school, it's been nothing but a themed month. So since we got back from spring break, every day is a new thing. We had like wear your favorite color day. So wear your favorite color. Sweatpants day, hat day.
Favorite state.
Pay homage to King Charles III day, you peasant Americans. No.
Is that when every student brings a tea bag and throws it into the fountain outside?
Yeah, it's like...
Why are we doing this?
Boston Tea Party Day. Because you don't know what they sacrificed. And today was wear your favorite jersey day.
Oh, nice, dude.
And so I come to school and I look and I'm like, well, clearly I'm a man who has a lot of sports jerseys and watches all of the stuffs.
The new one.
So I printed out a picture of New Jersey and I had a student cut it out for me. And they're like, why am I cutting this out for you? I'm like, shh, 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 shh.
Because it does what it's told.
And I had them cut it out and then I put it on. And they're like, why do you have a state on your chest? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I didn't want to wear one of my old nasty jerseys, so I decided to wear a new jersey.
Yeah.
And it had mixed reactions from that's really clever to really funny to that's really stupid to and
To
here's
what's
what
New Jersey?
Exactly. And a lot of kids and even some teachers, dude, are like, what state is that on your chest?
Yeah.
And I'm like, excuse me? Like, you don't even know.
That's terrible, dude.
I had someone come up to me, they're like,
Oh,
I had somebody come up to me, they're like, why do you have the south part of Michigan on your chest? And I'm like,
oh my gosh, dude.
gosh.
Come on. I don't talk bad about your work, so there's nothing
Yeah.
I can say here, but that's horrible, dude.
So
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's why I have New Jersey off my chest. And this afternoon, I can't wait to get it off my chest.
Yeah. You should have worn a more recognizable state like Hawaii.
It's like going all across my chest. I just have Alaska, and it's just my entire torso.
Yeah. Hey, YouTube.
So we didn't mean to neglect you, all our YouTube listeners and viewers, like the redheaded stepchild that you are.
We're here now.
We forgot to click record on the video.
Yeah.
So all you audio listeners, you're like, all right, so Garrett was just about to talk about something with Audrey.
It
and then
turned
you
episode 51, and we suddenly decided to stop caring.
about everything. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, welcome to the beginning of the video. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple or anywhere else, hey, it's just we're like 5-6 minutes in.
I'm glad you remembered, too, because we've been talking for 5 minutes about the New Jersey on your chest,
Yeah.
and there would have been no footage of it.
Yeah. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're wondering, just go on Apple or that there Spotify or anywhere else or Castbox and just start from the beginning.
Yeah. So I was an indirect bring your daughter into work day, and by bring your daughter into work day, what I really mean is Audrey made me watch Elle. No,
Are you your dad or something?
It was fine. She had to take Graham into a doctor's thing, and so she was like, "Can you watch Elle?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I can neglect my job and focus on my daughter because that's what I'd like to do anyway." So she brought her in, and I posted a reel. If you're a friend of mine, you can check out the reel on my Facebook or whatever. Maybe I'll post it here if you're watching YouTube. But it was just completely and utter chaos. It was like the curly-headed Gitchels are wreaking havoc on I almost said the name again, on our church. And it was fun. It was really fun. I look over, we're eating lunch together, and I look over, and Elle is just raking a fork through her hair. And it was that moment we just stopped and looked at each other and just went dead still, and she just goes, "I'm Ariel."
and then you're like, but Elle, and she puts the fork to your throat, and you're like, I mean,
okay, you're Ariel, you're Ariel.
I mean, Princess Ariel, and she's like,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. How are you doing? I have an interesting thing on the agenda here that tells your future. Is that happening now or is that happening later?
Do you want to jump in just straight into that part?
I want it all. Yeah, tell me what's going on.
Okay, thank you for quoting Queen. If I
Wait, tell me what's going on or I want it all. Which song? Which one of those was the song?
all.
Oh, okay.
I want it all. Sorry. You guys want me to finish that, don't you? But
I
I'm
do.
not.
I miss it when you used to sing to me.
But
It
I'm
was
not.
nice.
Yeah, until Audrey gave me a text. She's like, "Why are you singing to my husband?"
Yeah, Banter Biscuits. Seth introduced me to Hamilton, one of my favorite Broadway musicals.
Did I?
Yeah, you did, because when we went to go get when we went to go get engaged. When we proposed to each other in Chicago, Illinois.
But Audrey would not say. Audrey would not acquiesce.
Seth and I drove to Chicago to propose to his fiance, now
For
wife.
me to propose to my fiance, not the both of us proposing to my now wife.
Yeah, and he sang one of the 3 King George songs
Yeah.
on that trip because we had absolutely nothing to do for 5 hours.
Do you want to know something funny about that?
Yeah,
I've never actually seen Hamilton.
I know. I did know that. You told me, and I couldn't believe
good.
it.
Okay, good.
But you didn't at the time. You didn't even tell me what that was because
Yeah.
you didn't even. I don't think you even knew. And I was like, "You're like, this is a cool song about King George III," and I was like, "Oh, just keep looking forward."
Yeah, you're like, oh, you're driving. You're like, oh, bird.
And the guy who made Hamilton got $0.
Yeah, no. Tyler showed me that song. He's like, it's from Hamilton.
Oh, you knew.
It reminds me of you. That's what he told me. And I
Yeah.
said, let me listen to it. And he
It's
said,
a really tough song to do, and Seth can do it with perfect pitch and embouchure.
like,
and it's
like
amazing.
I sound so pretentious when I sing that song.
Well, it's
which is-
King George III. What do you have to?
Which is why Tyler probably thought I sounded
Yeah.
best for it now that I'm realizing that. I mean, what gave it away for me that really reminded me of how I am, it said, and I will send a fully armed battalion to remind you of my love. And sometimes I'll like say that to Shelby. I'll be like, love you, sending a fully armed battalion.
Yeah. And she knows what it is.
Yeah. Gonna kill your friends and family to remind you of my
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
That's such a great
yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it rained. And
A lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the green coming up on the radar from you.
That's so cute. We
Yeah.
usually see orange and red.
Yeah. Slowly burning down towards you.
Yeah. And I just like, time to batten down the hatches again, Loretta.
Yeah. No, it's coming over from California next time.
Yeah. And we're sitting on the couch watching TV. We were watching some One Piece, and then we were watching some Dragon Ball. And I'm realizing just how much Goku you really are. And it drives me insane watching it. I'm like, that is Garrett. That is exactly something Garrett would say. And all of a sudden, I look out the window, and you ever go through a car wash?
Never.
Okay.
Because it rains here constantly every day.
That's right.
There's no reason to go through a car wash in Cleveland.
In California, they don't believe in wasting water on vehicles.
They don't have dirt.
I want to say, why put my bike through a car wash?
Yeah.
So when you go through a car wash, you'll see the water and all that, scrubbing your window, and there's just these ripples going down your windows. That is not something you want to see on your living room window.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then I step
Oh,
outside amidst lightning, and
Did you buy a lemon?
my gutter is overflowing.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so I have to go unclog my I'm a blessed man. I get
Yeah, you get
to go unclog my gutter, and this will be the first time I have actually been on my roof.
Oh, dude, it's fun. It's really cool. It's because the first time you go up there, there's this little bit of like king complex, which you're used to.
Yeah.
And you go up there and you stand on like the crest of your roof like this, and you just go, "This is mine." And then you immediately just get
there, moron.
and then you immediately get on your hands and knees and start scooping at your gutters like a servant again.
Yeah. And the bird just lands on my shoulder and starts like whipping my neck, like, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Clean
it's
that
cool.
gutter.
It's cool because you get up there and you're like, I own this thing because I can literally stand on top of it.
Yeah.
So it's really neat. But it's like you get a chance to see like your neighborhood and like where your little kingdom is situated.
Right.
And it's like a really cool experience. And you have two stories, right?
We have on our bookshelves multiple novels that we place.
I have two stories.
not just
one is
two.
of a pauper and one is of a slightly poorer pauper.
Yeah. Yeah, we have an upstairs, a middle level, and then the basement.
Oh, okay. So it's technically three.
No, it's
right?
two. Basements don't count
okay.
as 3 stories.
Oh, they don't? Okay.
No,
I don't
no.
know. We have a slab.
It was a full story Rogue Wave, and then the Rogue Wave has a basement in it, and people are just down there sipping tea. Yeah, so I get to climb up on my roof and I get to unclog this gutter. And the thing about our gutters is that they're connected to the sewers underground, so the gutters actually go underground.
Yeah.
My hope is that it's not clogged down there either, that it's just clogged on top.
It's probably not. It's just what happens is sludge.
Yes, that's what I felt when I put my hand up there. Because at first, yesterday I was playing the game called Beat the Clock, where the thunderstorm was literally in the distance and you can feel the cold wall coming through. And I'm on this ladder. And I'm like, storm's coming, storm's coming. What is the character in The Wizard of Oz again? What's her name? Dorothy. I'm like, storm's coming, Dorothy. The twister, a twister. And she's like, and it's just Shelby. She's like, can you just clean the gutter?
Yeah.
And I pulled these branches out. I'm like, surely this must be it. But then while I was up there, I saw the hole.
You pull out Toto. You reach in and you pull out this Toto dog.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no place like your home.
I pull out Toto, and all of a sudden you hear do 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 do. And I'm just like, and I slowly just put it back in the gutter again. Yeah. I'm like, Garrett must never know.
So your leaves can go down and clog your the spaces that go down at an angle. But typically the leaf clog won't get all the way down to underneath. It'll stay in the part that has an angle or whatever. But that's why they have those leaf guard things where you don't have a tree above your house though.
We have 2 giant oak wood trees in our backyard. Okay. So I
was like, it'll be fine because you don't have trees, right?
Yeah.
You're like, let me tell you.
You ever see the Anakin Padme meme thing where he's
just
there?
Yeah. Because you don't have trees behind your house, right?
And he's just staring at her.
You don't have any oak trees behind your house and above your roof, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have 2. Yeah. And we got them cleaned out in December. So I'm thinking, because when I was up there and I was getting the branches out, because it's me foolishly thinking it was the branches, which doesn't make any sense as it pertains to physics. I look and then I see the hole where the water goes into, and there's just all this stuff covering it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, So I try to get my ladder over there, and I hear the storm getting closer and closer and closer. And I'm like reaching my hand, and dude, this thing's so full. But I couldn't get my ladder to go to where I could climb it all the way up to get to it. So what I have to do now is I have to climb up on my roof.
Yeah, right.
So now looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. Don't worry. The trick is just go slow. And really make sure your foot is stable on the ground before you put weight on it, and then you'll be fine.
Okay, it's like learning how to walk again.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. It's like that time I learned how to run before I learned how to walk.
Yeah. Do you have a new roof? A relatively new roof?
No, not really. It's not old enough to where it needs to be replaced right now, but it's certainly not brand new.
Okay.
I still think it's fine. I think it'll be okay. I'm not going to fall through this roof, dude. This house was made in 2002. I'm sure the roof was replaced 7 years ago, I think. So
yeah. Well, when you go up, hopefully before the next episode, keep us posted.
I just go up, and then you see a different point of view in my hands. Just go up this ladder, and then it's just in the clouds, and I pop my head up, and I'm like, where am I? And then a dude,
you're like, where am I going? And then it's just God on a cloud. And he's like, right back to where you came from, son.
God is a redneck. I get up on the clouds, and you just see this young man in ragged clothes with one bean. He's like, run, the giant's on his way. And I hear fee, fi, fo, fum. And I'm just gonna stop you right there. And I just kick him in the toe. Yeah.
I smell the blood of someone who's had way too many Buckeyes.
Yeah. And you just see me okay, this guy's a Michigan supporter. You're going down. And you just see me come down from the ladder, and Shelby's like, how'd it go? And I just have an entire giant's foot around my shoulder. I'm like, we're not going hungry for a month.
Oh boy. Yeah, keep us posted. I'm curious about how that experience is going to be. It's fun. Don't worry.
You'll get a text message from me tonight.
Okay,
so
cool.
You won't have to wait long. The biscuits will wait a week, but you won't have to wait long.
The picture's just gonna be you face up, and I'll be like, "Why is it upside down?" And you'll be like, "Turn your phone around."
Yeah.
And you're dangling from a rope.
Yeah. My foot's just tied along the thing. I'm just half my body's in the gutter, and my feet are just in the air. All right, right, so on our agenda, it says episode 51 article, not a hint of a subject, which makes me really nervous.
Would it be banter gravy if we didn't have some sort of animal escaping from a zoo somewhere?
No, because one day it's actually going to be one of us. So at some point, it's going to be like I'll be reading an article and it'll be like prisoner 452, and he now lives in Cleveland under the surname Gitchell, and I'm looking at you like, Garrett, this is, and you just pull out a banana and you're like, continue reading the article.
Yeah. And I'm like, can I get out now? And the zookeeper is just like, hey, stop that, and like hits the bars. And I'm like, ah.
Can I just mention that the New Jersey that's on my chest,
New Jersey,
looks like a leaf that somehow developed sharp teeth and is now trying to eat all the other leaves.
Yeah. It looks like E.T., but he has just one little dangle that he's like hopping on like VeggieTales.
E.T., instead of saying friend, he's just like, foe. All right, I'm going to click this article.
Vietnamese tea?
I'm going to click this article, and I haven't read this article or the title beforehand, so Biscuits, I'm going to be reading it to you guys as I am comprehending it.
Yeah, all right.
Here we go. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I try to stay local.
After the tragic death of Harambe at Cincinnati Zoo, it's easy to forget the story of escape artist Ken Allen.
Yeah.
What?
So this article is old.
Yeah.
As old as my relationship with Ohio is.
June 2016. It's about there, dude. Yeah, it's close.
But I just had to. We have to go over this one. I read through half of it and I was like, this is going on the show.
People still, whenever I go to the zoo, because you can go to what I call ground zero, where everything with Harambe happened, you still hear hushed whispers of, oh yeah, it's where it happened with Harambe. Oh, is this where Harambe was?
You know, like Ohioans are all like proud that Harambe was here and like it came out of this state. But let me tell you, as someone who was not in this state, it was little more than an interest. Like from time to time, we would hear like Harambe, and it would be like, "What is that?" And we'd look it up and be like, "Oh, it's a gorilla." Oh, all right.
It's
anyways, on to the things we were doing before.
Yeah, it's like Fiona the hippo at the Cincinnati Zoo. She was a huge celebrity.
The size of Harambe in terms of culture is not nearly as big outside of Ohio as Ohioans believe it was.
The subheading of this article says, "They shoot you in the wild. They shoot you in the zoo. It's hard being an ape in 2016, but, says Joe...
I thought that was going to rhyme.
But me too. But, says Joe Vakes, it wasn't always so tough. I would like to point out there is not a period after tough.
Okay.
So
these people are not masters holders like you are.
Yeah, but they get paid for this, so why should I?
They're journalists.
Okay. And they spelled his name wrong.
Oh, boy.
Joe Veix is in the subheading, and then in the article for the author says Joe Vei.
Last month, headlines mourned the death of Harambe the gorilla at the Cincinnati Zoo, shot to death when he was?
Do you not know about this story?
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Do you not know what happened?
I had just gotten here.
Garrett, a kid jumped into the gorilla enclosure, and you know what they did?
They had to
shot
shoot him.
And killed the gorilla. You couldn't have used tranquilizer darts?
Yeah, I remember this.
You couldn't have used, like, whatever? You shot and killed a...
Yeah. Contrast to that 13th of June, 1985, when a 250-pound orangutan named Ken Allen climbed up his retaining wall at the San Diego Zoo and escaped his pen. He walked down a public path towards a crowd of tourists, stopping to look at other animals as if he were a visitor before being led back to his cage. It would not be the last time he escaped. But instead of a PR disaster for a brief time in San Diego, Ken Allen became a folk hero. After that, the first escaped zoo officials ramped up the security in his pen. An open area with a jungle gym made of utility poles and a large moat at the back behind... Californians don't do anything halfway.
No, they don't. No.
Behind the moat was a massive wall with they extended 4 feet. But it wasn't enough to contain Ken Allen.
So they decided to put 4 guard towers with semi-automatic machine guns, barbed wire surrounding the cage. And if that didn't work, a Ken Burns documentary to bore the animal from getting out of the enclosure. Can you imagine if that were true?
His 19-hour documentary.
And if all else fails, a full reenactment of the reading of the Magna Carta.
Yeah.
King John's just like, you don't want me to do what? Just read it.
You take it from there.
A few weeks later in July, he managed to climb the wall again.
Of course he did. Why would he want to just stay happy in his cage?
We're going to climb the wall. He climbed the wall. He climbed it well. Some would say he did the best. This time, he was a bit more irritable. Zookeepers found him.
He gets to the top of the wall and puts his hands on his hips like, you tried to build it 4 feet higher.
Yeah. Zookeepers found him in front of another ape enclosure, tossing rocks at Otis, a fellow orangutan and former penmate who, according to the Los Angeles Times, was not known to be amenable.
Otis is just cowering in the corner, and Ken is like, this is for all those times, and he's throwing it. He never thought I'd get a hold of some rocks, did you?
Yeah, and Otis is just like, come on, stop.
I'm sorry.
I already left you. You can have Susan and the kids. I'll just see them on the weekends.
Oh boy.
Otis works like a white collar job as a CPA at some accounting firm, and Ken just comes like throwing rocks. He goes, count these rocks.
The escape continued that August. Ken Allen found a crowbar.
Oh, good God.
I hadn't gotten to this point yet.
What?
In his pen that workers left behind. Did the workers come straight out of school, zookeeping school, right to this cage?
Let's just leave a crowbar.
If there was any animal to not leave a crowbar in the cage of, it was Ken the orangutan, who had already escaped twice.
Wait, and like he grabs a crowbar, and then all the zookeeper stuff are like, wait. Do you think he's going to pry open that door over there that we've been trying to get open forever? And then he takes the crowbar and just starts swinging it around all the guests. Like, what did you expect?
He tossed it to another. To another orangutan. Is this Ocean's 13?
It's just Matt Damon playing one orangutan
with the Missions Impossible theme. Dun, 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 dun. The crowbar is just hopping from animal to animal into the mouth of a giraffe.
Yeah. And then the giraffe, and every time a new animal gets it, it pauses, and the animal looks at the camera, and it's just an actor saying voiced by whatever.
It freeze frame.
And the giraffe just gets the crowbar, and it looks straight at the camera, and it says, voiced by Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, you go, Ken.
You go. Here, I'll use my long neck to try to get you this crowbar here. Throws it over, and then another orangutan catches it, and it's like, we gotta go. And it looks, it's just voiced by Steve Carell.
Yeah. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Vicky.
He tossed it to another orangutan, Vicky, who used it to pry open a window and let Ken out.
This isn't real. This is not real.
What? After the incident, he was moved temporarily to an indoor pen with a black and white television with one working channel.
Oh, because remember, this is 19. What is this?
85?
86.
86.
Yeah, this is 86. This is before I came into the world.
This is June 13th, 1985.
Okay, yeah. So Cheers were still on the air.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
With one working channel.
That sounds like a joke we would have said. And let me guess, they sat him in front of one TV channel on a black and white TV and just showed him the news. And they're like, well, yeah.
I can see the end of this movie is it's slowly panning in like little by little, and all you can hear in the background is, today in the Cincinnati Zoo, a gorilla named Harambe was born, and and it just goes black.
Yeah. And the zookeepers are like, oh, that gorilla will have such a great future. It goes on to say, oh, here we go. We got some armchair quarterbacking here. We got some people 20/20 hindsight. They probably should have seen his knack for escaping earlier.
Should we maybe do something let him do something other than watch one channel?
Born in captivity, Ken Allen got his name from the two keepers, Ken Willingham, one of them is just British, and Ben Allen.
We're starting a zoo.
Yeah. Who rescued him from his also captive mother after she attempted to smother him. As an adolescent, he would regularly unscrew the bolts of his cage and explore his nursery at night, returning in the morning and putting it back together before his keepers arrived. Like, what gave it away this gorilla was going to be nothing but trouble? Or not gorilla, orangutan.
Should we try to maybe do something different this time when we build his next cage? No, it'll be fine. We can even do things like leave crowbars in there.
Yeah. Reports of his quest for freedom.
Have you read the book Goodnight Gorilla?
No, because
to your cats.
I just hold my cat in my lap. I'm like, good night, gorilla. Good night, moon. And then I say, good night, fish. And it starts attacking the pig, trying to get the fish. Oh, God. That's why I don't read Goodnight Gorilla anymore, Garrett.
It was one of Al's favorite books.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have the copy on my desk. But basically the premise, if children's books have premises, is that the gorilla goes around and lets all of the animals out of the zoo, out of their cages, and they all follow the zookeeper home to his house, and the lights turn off, and there's all these eyeballs, like in the dark, like in his room.
So you mean the state of our current government?
No, I think this book was... I think that book was fashioned after this animal.
Oh, right. Reports of his quest for freedom, especially in the 1980s. I love this next line.
Did you Freudian say request for freedom just now?
Yeah, I did.
I request freedom. Check with France. See how that went.
Yes.
We declare freedom.
Reports of his quest for freedom, and I love this line. Especially in the 1980s, an era known for its schmaltzy patriotism. What was so patriotic about the 1980s? Was it the fact that we kicked Russia's or Soviet Union's butt in ice hockey, or that Hulk Hogan was all over the news?
It was both.
Okay. Became a major selling point for the zoo.
Meanwhile, in Cleveland, we've decided to release 4 million balloons into the air.
What could go wrong, they asked.
We don't care because freedom.
Yeah.
It just like pans over to a bald eagle just going...
Yeah.
It's got a balloon in its mouth.
And they're just like, can't you hear freedom ringing? Dude, that line you just said should be a t-shirt we should sell. We don't care because freedom.
Yeah.
Biscuits, we may or may not finish this.
Yeah. And if history has told the Biscuits anything, when we say we're going to do something,
we're not.
How many sequel banter gravies have I done? Or
one. We did Texas Part 2 25 episodes later.
Gravy garnish. You know what I meant.
Yeah, we did Texas Part 2 like 25 episodes later. Biscuits, if you want to know more about this article, just search up after the tragic death of Harambe, and I'm sure this is going to pop up about Ken Allen.
Yeah, it's funny because the pendant of the top of this page, it says independent news, and the icon is an eagle.
Yeah.
Taking flight.
Yeah, great. That's not taking flight, it's landing on a branch.
Oh, that's right. It's ending its freedom.
Cue the drums. Garrett, we live in quite a big world.
It's okay. It's not that big. I've gone around it 3 times.
I am here setting up the volleyball spike for you for the game-winning point. I am setting this segment up, and I say, Garrett, it's a pretty big world we live in. And Garrett couldn't have said, yeah, blah, 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 yeah, this, or yeah, I have some news for it. It was, yeah, it's all right.
I've circumnavigated this thing 3 times.
Okay.
And I just pictured us in 80 days around the world in a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
And we're just floating above the ocean. And I'm like, man, I thought Hillsong United's oceans would be a lot oceanier than this. And then it just cuts to a shot. The balloon's really far away, and I'm just falling, going,
yeah. we go above the North Pole, and you just see our balloon. Like, where are we now? You're like, the Bering Straits. I'm like, hey, put the balloon down a little further. I need to do something. And it pans to two parent polar bears, and they're giving their little baby polar bear its first bottle of Coke, and it's about to, it goes. And it's like, here you go, son. And all of a sudden you just see my hand and you think I'm going to grab the Coke, but I accidentally grab the baby polar bear.
Yeah.
We go back into the balloon and it completely like mauls your face off. And I turn to the camera and I take the baby polar bear and I show it. I'm like, have one with a friend. Garrett, give us that news from around the world.
All right. It is time again, once again for news from... I pressed the wrong button. News from around the world. Article number one.
It gets better every time.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
And the thing is, I practice every time, too.
The song
Before you came on, I
me.
was like, practice this so it doesn't
Oh my gosh, the
badly.
song makes us look like absolute like great reporters, and then it just pans to our faces and they're like, them?
And I'm just pressing the button like, why won't it work? Oh, that's right, because it's a $30 podcast equipment thing. All right. Ever heard of snail mail? Well,
Yes.
turns out there's something slower.
Oh.
The USPS.
Oh my gosh. Garrett. This isn't news from around the world. This is Garrett just roasting things that he finds he wants to roast and says it's news.
Oh, it's news. When Brittany Keach checked her mailbox morning this week, it was flooded with the usual junk, but atop the pile of miscellaneous flyers and bills sat something that caught her eye. A tattered, time-worn postcard.
I was going to say a ransom note for her loved ones.
A Time Lord. A tattered and old, time-worn postcard. At first, I didn't think much of it. Other than that, it was old, said Keach. I don't know why these reporters don't include more of the statement, because that couldn't have been it.
Because you know when a commoner starts to speak, you can only take so much of it to make it make sense.
They're like, that's enough, said Keach.
So what is the harvest looking like this fall? Well, I'll tell you, ever since the Confederacy wrongfully lost the Civil War, and it just goes,
That's good enough. Yeah.
Gonna be a pretty great harvest, we're thinking, and they just use that part.
Yeah.
That's why they cut so much out.
Upon further investigation, she spotted a faded green 1-cent George Washington stamp, postmarked October 29th, 1920. So over 100 years old. I was shocked, said Keach.
They ask her before the quote, they're like, oh, by the way, have you been doing any electrical work inside your kitchen? Oh, yeah, we were messing with the outlet, and next thing you know, I was shocked.
They're like, perfect, pack up the van.
We'll take that part about the stamp. Thank you so much. And they give her like a $2 check.
We got Uber Eats coming back to the office in 2 minutes.
We did it.
On the front of the postcard is a Halloween illustration, including a black cat, pumpkins, a witch, and an owl on a broomstick.
Wait, hold on.
I think
that
the
all
witch
checks out.
I think the witch and the owl are on the broomstick. Yeah. It's 1920. I don't know what was going on.
And an owl doing its taxes.
And a man with an invention, but he didn't make it into the patent office in time. He's just on the dirt streets of New York. Horse carriage, please! I need to get this patent there immediately.
Yeah.
And then it's like, ooh. Plus, a play on words. Which would you rather be, a goose or a pumpkin head?
See, have you ever noticed all of those jokes eventually dissipated after the Second World War because nobody was laughing after that?
I didn't notice because I'm uneducated.
Which one would you like? And then someone from 1946, right after war, just time travels back and slaps them in the face like, you have no idea what's coming. And then they go back to the future.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Graham and Elle's grandchildren won't even have humor.
oh, that makes me so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because it just gets slippery and more a slippery slope as time goes. As Keach deciphered the faded cursive on the postcard, which appeared to be addressed to a Mrs. Roy McQueen, she realized it was a letter from one family member to another. Dear cousins, the letter starts.
Oh, boy.
Multiple cousins.
Great.
So I don't know how there's more than one cousin,
Me
right?
neither, yeah,
I guess it could be the siblings, right?
I guess.
Multiple siblings.
Maybe.
We are quite well, but mother has awful lame knees.
Oh my gosh.
It is awful cold here. So apparently the 1920s was awful.
Mom's knees are pretty lame. And then they go and she's trying to play basketball and she can't dunk. They're like, yep, pretty lame knees.
Yeah. It's just a 1920 rap battle.
Yeah.
And they're just like, cholera, I never want to call her.
Cholera. You think I'm going to call you?
There's only one phone number in this town. And all the audience is just like, lame. Oh boy. The note ends with, "Don't forget to write us," followed by a question. Did Roy get his pants fixed yet?
Oh my gosh, what is happening? Can you imagine these in text message format?
This is the news in 1920. And this is the family back and forth.
Oh my gosh.
I have some news for you. Roy has ripped his pants on the family fence.
Yeah.
More to come in August.
And then they send the letter back like, James really would have loved this letter of Roy splitting his pants, but he died from the Spanish flu. Nowadays, it'd be like, you just get your phone out, you're just like, ripped pants.
Yeah.
And the people are like, who is this?
Yeah. So that's apparently what it ended with. There's a few things that could have happened here, says Mandy Ponover, who works for the Postal Service in Michigan. Her best guess is that the postcard got stuck behind a baseboard in a crack in the floor, or a crack in the floor, or a piece of machinery in an old office that was recently renovated. The letters then go to what's called the dead letter office.
Oh my gosh.
Where they try to find the family members where they should go to, or at least the family line. Ponover explained. I want to work for that office and deliver the mail in a skeleton outfit.
Can you dance like the skeletons did at the Disney classic cartoon? You know the skeleton dance?
Yeah, and somebody's in the background with like a vibraphone, like going like Bones.
Yeah.
And I'm just like going away like this, and I'm like, you should have seen those Dead Sea ones.
Yeah, and the skeletons are even shocked by how bad you look. Like, oh my gosh!
He doesn't even need to wear the suit.
And he's not a corpse.
All right. More reasons to be grateful we don't live in Canada. A Canadian woman has claimed that a frozen surprise from a plane passing overhead ripped through her roof of her mother's house. Stephanie Moore said she was woken up by a crashing sound and saw a huge hole in the ceiling in the hallway, less than 15 feet from where she was sleeping. The 36-year-old teacher said, I can't believe it was a teacher. Have you guessed what crashed through her house at this point?
It was a frozen thing?
A frozen thing from an airplane.
Was it ice cream or popsicles?
No.
Oh.
It was that thing that comes out of the back of all of us.
No.
I can't believe you didn't guess that?
No.
What things do planes drop out of? Like
It's so hot outside right now.
That's why I said I can't believe it's a teacher.
Yeah,
the crap that they have to deal with at school, and then they come home.
It's just so hot right now. I really want a drumstick. And then you said something frozen hit them, and I'm like, well, it can't be crap, and it needs to be ice cream or something. And then you're like, no, it is feces, Seth.
Yeah.
Like, okay, great.
Mrs. Moore told CBC News, "At first, I thought it was just damage to the ceiling." The roofer who inspected the damage said there was no rotting in the wood in the roof. So obviously he went up to go check to see if the ceiling was just coming down.
Sure.
They did not find any evidence that it was a tree branch that caused the damage, and there was no ice or snow on the roof when it happened. The roofer said it was blue ice, a term for frozen excrement that can accidentally leak away from airplanes mid-flight, named for the color of the disinfectant used by the sewage systems in the cisterns on commercial airplanes.
Who named that? Who
blue
actually,
ice has.
This isn't the first time it has a name.
Right, that's what's so crazy about this. Blue ice has been known to hit homes and melt on impact. leaving the evidence behind.
Oh, it must be that blue ice again. It's like, how do you know this? Is there a precedent? That would in America, the blue ice is falling from the sky, and all of a sudden you just hear
Yeah.
it just completely destroys the blue ice. But in Canada, it's just like
Yeah. They're like, there's that ice again.
Yeah, Canada doesn't do anything, but the US, we will blow it up.
Yeah, we get hit with blue ice sometimes. A spokeswoman for Transport Canada said they're looking into the claim. That is classic suit executive speak for we do not care about this at all.
They just go with like a really sarcastic magnifying glass. Like, oh, well, let's see. And they like zoom in and out on it. And then they start dusting for fingerprints around the entire house.
Yeah. She said, we're looking into the claim. She said the department takes all reports of possible debris coming from aircrafts very seriously.
Oh, I bet.
Every reported incident is investigated by Transport of Canada officials. Canadian aviation regulations forbid creating a hazard by dropping waste mid-flight. You think?
Yes.
What's the one thing we don't want to have happen from our airplanes? Dropping things on houses? No.
You just hear someone in the back raise their hand.
It's
Crashing?
baggage fees.
We don't want that to happen.
All right. A solar technology startup in Switzerland is hoping to exploit the open space between railway tracks.
What?
To produce sustainable energy by placing solar panels between tracks. Only in Switzerland, right?
You just see them setting it up. And they put it right above the track. And they're setting it up and they're like, oh, great, this thing fits perfectly. I'm just so happy.
Yeah.
And then the other person's like, yeah, I mean, what is the worst thing could burn?
the railway thing in the background. Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding, ding.
If only we had ample time to prepare for this. And the person tied to the railroad tracks while a dude in like a top hat with like a twirly mustache is like, hee.
Yeah.
And the person tied to the rope is like, yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. This would never work in the Wild West.
No.
That's all I can say.
They'd be going to put the solar panels on, and as they're doing it, it just pans over to like the train coming here. Dun, 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 and they're like robbing a train. And then
What's a solar panel? I don't know, but let's steal it.
Let's take it, Cliff. And they're like, America, screw you, energy.
Yeah. America rejecting good energy ideas since 1885.
Yeah.
It's just a wanted poster, and it says, "Wanted, good ideas."
Yeah. Wanted 2 solar panels.
Yeah.
And then it says dead or alive, and then someone just takes out their cigarette and blows it. They're like, we're bringing it back dead.
Yeah. And that's all for news from around the world.
After you're done doing live, we're just like, whatever, 51's going to be whatever we want it to be.
It's like the weight challenge where people run with like weights tied around their ankles.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. And then they take off the weights and just like, pew!
Yeah. That's another Goku reference.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Of course I'm Goku.
He had weighted clothes. All right.
Oh, that's right. He trained on that one planet that you can walk around in like 5 minutes.
He wore weighted clothes, and then he took them off for the World Martial Arts Tournament in Dragon Ball.
Where Master Yoshi was, right?
Master Roshi.
That
was the first one. During...
Master Yoshi.
Yeah, you good?
He's like, Master Yoshi, what am I supposed to do now? And he's like,
yeah, blow.
Just eats him.
Just turns Krillin into an egg. Yeah, no, he had weighted clothes that he used in the World Martial Arts Tournament when he was an adult versus Piccolo.
Yeah.
And then he took them off again versus Raditz and got killed. And then, yeah. So, yeah, he always wears weighted clothes. Garrett, before we close this abomination, guess who's selling chicken nuggets again?
Chicken Farmers of America.
Brought to you by...
Nobody, because nobody has ever sold chicken nuggets except Chick-fil-A.
Just when I was in Wendy's and Burger King and McDonald's. Anyways,
those are not chicken nuggets.
Right. You remember how I ranted and was angry about the Cantina menu?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. Taco Bell heard my cries. They're like, we raise you chicken nuggets.
Taco Bell heard your cries.
Taco Bell is now selling
They felt a disturbance in the taco time continuum.
Freaking nuggets. What is happening?
I don't know, but Seth is very invested. Do you have any stock in Taco Bell?
I can't
because your Clash of Clans name is Chalupa. 95.
I might be sponsoring. You don't know it. So, Biscuits, if you're out there and you're thinking about what do I want to get, or do I want to get a nice thing of chicken nuggets, if Taco Bell doesn't come to your mind immediately, that means you're normal.
Yeah. And that means you actually have a good mind on you.
And let me tell you guys what's also normal. Clicking that like and subscribe button, giving us any topic ideas or suggestions, and emailing us at bantergravy@gmail.com. And next time we go live, if you want the information about when we do another live episode, follow us on Facebook as well. We'll repost a lot of banter bites and shorts, as well as any information about upcoming episodes.
All right, that's it, folks. We love you.
Do we?
I do.
I like you guys.
Yeah. All right. I love you. Seth likes you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Garrett, don't break your heart again.